Finance Committee meeting for February the 5th, 2024.
We can. No,
Councilor Jones. Councilor Gwaltney. Allamon. Smith.
Here.
Hardin.
Here.
You got three.
Well, it looks like it. You and me, John.
We don't
Motions
have
and seconds. Yeah, we do. Three.
Oh, we count you, don't we?
Yeah, he just can't. He just can't make a motion.
All right, is there a motion to dispense with the reading of improved and distributed?
Second.
Okay, hold a second. Moved by Councilor Smith, second by Councilor Hardin. Any questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, by the same sign. That passes 3-0. 2006-23, Mayor, consideration of city manager. Do we have anything additional tonight on this? Okay. Well, welcome back.
thank you. Glad to be back.
I'm glad you're back.
Can you give a quick, brief reintroduction? You know,
Yeah.
come here, tell us your
You
name,
look
tell us
familiar.
Yeah, exactly.
I appreciate it. This is much better than trying a case. So I expect that by the next meeting, we've talked to the state to try to get an update on the map. By the next meeting, we should have a map. Hopefully I'll have something on the petition at that point as well. The first run through on the group to do that did a little bit more than, quite frankly, we're even legally allowed to do in terms of advancing the issue beyond the petition. So I'm getting a revised proposal from them and should have that at the next meeting as well. I can't remember if I said this at the last meeting. We did find out that the runoff is in the eventual likely runoff of the general election primary. This in March will be in April, so while they're not telling us that April's off, there's a good chance April's off, so we're probably looking more like May, which should work fine, like I said, as long as things keep progressing the way that they are. I think that's sort of the goal right now, is try to shoot for May.
Okay. Any questions? Yes.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When we were talking about the map, was the map created and the state is approving it, or is the state creating the map?
State's creating the map, because they have to create, even if we weren't doing this, the state would
Yeah.
have to look at the map to make sure it matched up with the census data. It just happens to fall at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's always got to match the census data, so that's all we told them to do, was to do the map based on the current census data, but do it with 4 wards instead of 5.
Perfect. I think that was my misunderstanding. I wanted to clarify it so I could tell people correctly.
Yeah, no,
Thanks.
state's drawing the map.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
All right. Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll carry that over without objection. Okay, new business, 10-01-24, request to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with ALDOT for the operation of traffic control signals along 31 and Lakeshore. Mr. Smith.
So ALDOT came to us on, in early January. We currently have an agreement in place for the operation and maintenance for traffic signals along Highway 31 and 149, which is Lakeshore. So ALDOT is doing a lot of traffic signal retimings along 31, and so they wanted to take that part of the agreement out of the contract and execute a new contract. So we will continue to maintain the signals. ALDOT will be responsible for the operations.
So every time somebody says, those lights are messed up, we'll say, sorry, not us, we'll have to call ALDOT and never get an answer.
If the complaint is that that somebody's having to sit for a really long time out of signal, then that would be an ALDOT thing.
Right.
If it's that they're shut off or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
no,
an
that'll
ALDOT
be us, right,
Yeah.
yeah, no, but it'll be the other thing.
Right,
It'll be the other thing.
I have 2 questions. The crosswalk at Ponciana by Shades Cava, no one's acknowledging anybody's emails about that, and that's needs to be repainted.
Yes.
That's ALDOT.
True. So we have, the ALDOT conference starts tomorrow in Birmingham, and I'll be there for it, and I'll try to track down the people.
Get them, Kale.
I'll add that to my list.
Because the woman,
Bring some paint.
I know her, and she is persistent, and she is not.
You have
giving
to
Well, I
up.
mean,
mean,
you have to do
I mean,
that.
yeah, I mean, there's no
I-
way to get
yeah.
anything done without being persistent with them.
The
All right, well-
second thing, I'm sorry, one more
Oh, I'm
thing,
sorry,
quick
yeah,
thing.
you had 2.
The light, and I had kind of passed this on a couple different times to Randy to get to ALDOT, the light that's in front of Brookwood right now that they just that they just put back up is really unnecessary.
They're gonna take it out.
Oh,
of
thank
service.
God, okay, they shouldn't have put it back up, I mean, it came down in the storm, they should never put it back up.
It's just not necessary.
They're gonna
It's not
bag, they're gonna
necessary.
bag it.
Okay, they are gonna
Good.
bag
They
it,
are.
okay.
Walton's here.
Okay,
It's not
thanks, that's
necessary.
right.
I like it.
Okay, oh, so, I guess we do need to make a motion to, change the agreement and have the mayor sign the agreement with ALDOT to take over the operation of the traffic signals.
All right,
Control of
is that, you're making the motion?
I am making the
Second.
motion.
Counselor Smith, Counselor Harden seconding it. Okay, just a question. I mean, is there a need to do this? I mean, I like having control
Yeah, me
over
too.
the lights and not turning it over to ALDOT. Mayor, do you support this? I mean, I just don't like, I don't like, every time that we've given control to ALDOT, it has not been, successful. And I understand, but could I get maybe a reason why we should do this?
I mean, from the information that Cale's given us, I don't know that there's a reason not to, except for the simple fact that, I mean, yes, sometimes ALDOT does take a little too long. Green Springs is, you know, has been not Green Springs, the interstate, between Berkeley, I mean, they have their issues for sure. I mean, it's.
So ALDOT, a couple of years ago, put in a program called RTOP, where they are retiming traffic signals from Shelby County all the way up 31 to North Birmingham, and then also all the way along 280. So ALDOT is doing a regional plan to time traffic signals, so with the intent that you would be able to start in Pelham and drive all the way to North Birmingham and never hit a red light. Of course, it doesn't work like that. But in order for them to technically do all of it, they've asked all the municipalities, because of RTOP, to execute this new agreement.
And I know Vestavia did, because I talked to Jeff Downs this morning.
Lauren, do we need to draw any more hours?
Okay.
Well, I do too.
So, no, I mean, I don't think anybody.
No, we all-
Argues the fact that.
But we also, do we need to draw any more hours from them? Probably.
Does the agreement have any SLAs or anything that's punitive toward ALDOT to actually get things done in a timely manner?
SLAs?
Service
level
level agreement.
Like times associated with, we need you to repair this light, or I
No,
would say
we would.
maybe something like that.
Yeah,
We
they just
repair.
time, they just.
We
time
repair,
the
this is
signals.
just
Oh.
This is just for the timing.
operations of it, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
If the timing's not working on it, then we'd have to call ALDOT.
Any
But
maintenance
if it goes
issues.
down completely, then we would maintain it.
Could we not inbound their changes they wanna make and do them ourselves?
It's a program, I guess, they're using.
Right, they probably have a system that
Well,
they're
if they're,
doing all the way
if they're
through.
also gonna tie it to the rest of it, if they're trying to do the entire.
I mean, they're all state roads anyway, but they're not gonna, I can tell you, they're not gonna sell that. I mean, this their roadway. I mean, we can work on them and get them back going faster than they will, of course, but the timing of it's gonna be strictly demanded on them and what they're trying to do. On all of them.
Just always means what we want.
I know that's not a great answer for you.
No, yeah, I understand. Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed by the same sign. 4-0, that passes. That was exuberant.
Yeah, lots of enthusiasm.
Did you have a question?
No, you were talking about Lakeshore. It's been something for a while, as far as the light changing. Does that interfere with ALDOT? I mean, as far as going from Shelby County all the way, I don't think that.
No, this was the timing is just on 31.
That's 31 on it, right?
The
No,
RTOP
they're taking-
program.
Be Lakeshore too.
Lakeshore too.
See,
But yeah, 149 is included in the agreement.
Yeah, because it's their
I mean, the
roadway.
biggest problem you have at Lakeshore
That's not ours.
is the turn signal at the Shell station and the next light. If they coincide, one turns and then the other one turns the opposite way. I mean, you're sitting there 5 minutes, actually, especially.
So all lights on Lakeshore will be part of this agreement.
Agreement, that's right. This is, the Lakeshore agreement is separate than the 31 agreement.
But right now, we can put issues in with Randy, is that how that we would still put them in the system? you can still file the complaint on the system, and they would funnel that information to ALDOT, right?
Right.
So.
He communicates with them daily, I think.
Is 18th Street part of that?
18th Street is not an ALDOT.
No.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that. 110124, request for consideration of placing full page ad in Chamber of Commerce magazine.
Oh, sorry. Yes, this is the ad that we did. This is the same ad that we did last year. It's gonna be the same price as last year. It's $17.95. And we do have that in the budget.
17.
$17.95, it's budgeted. So just, I guess would be a request to place the full page ad at $17.95 as budgeted for in the Chamber of Commerce magazine.
I'm on the board.
Oh, sure. I'll make a motion for approval.
Okay, moved by Mr. Gwaltney.
I'll second.
Second. All right, any other questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 4-0. 120124, request to authorize the mayor to acquire Alabama Firefighter Disability Insurance. Mr. Burgett, so is this the cancer?
This is for the cancer policy that was legislated back in 1/1/20. At the time, we increased, that policy, that legislation requires the city to obtain a $3,000 per month disability policy for all firefighters if they were to contract any type of cancer and be permanently disabled. And it pays them $3,000 a month for a period of 36 months with a 6-month elimination period. At the time, we increased our long-term disability for the city to $3,000, thinking that we would cover, everyone by doing that. Where there's a shortfall in this is if an employee is no longer covered. We only cover our employees through year 10. After year 10, they become vested in the RSA. Then their disability is paid through RSA if they become permanently disabled after 10 years. The shortfall is if you take a firefighter, a 19 with 10 years of experience, with 10 years of service, his retirement benefit is not going to be $3,000. That's where our shortfall comes in. So if you take a firefighter that earns $70,000, has 10 years of service, he is only going to draw $1,274 in disability at that time. So that's the shortfall that we have. The city can look to self-insure on that, like we do on the workers' comp, or we can purchase a policy which is offered through Hartford, through Millennial Risk Management, to cover that, and the cost of that is, and this is for every firefighter that is employed with the city, the cost of that is $7,425 annually to cover that shortfall. Now,
Explain that again, Robert.
Okay, all right.
I got 10 years of service, I get cancer.
Correct.
I got.
RSA doesn't.
RSA's not covering it until how long?
No, if you become permanently disabled after 10 years of service,
Right.
your disability is covered through RSA, not through
Okay.
the city of
Okay.
Homewood.
All right.
From hire date to 10 years, the city has a long-term policy on you.
Right. I got that.
A person has to have a 10-year fireman that is a 1910, and he's become disabled. His retirement benefit is not going to equal $3,000 a month. The state act requires us to carry a $3,000 disability policy for a period of 36 months on that firefighter that becomes disabled due to cancer. RSA doesn't reach that limit. So there is a policy that'll fill that gap. And basically, this policy that Hartford is offering, it is a secondary disability policy. If it will pay the firefighter the benefit up to $3,000 after any primary coverage. That's basically all it is. It's secondary coverage for disability.
So essentially, they'd get their payment, their disability payment from RSA, let's say it's $1,200. the secondary policy would come in and pay up to
Pay
$3,000
the 18,
to
right,
make that, to meet that legislative.
Meet that legislative act, and that legislative act requires the city to pay them that $3,000 for 36 months.
Okay, and I see
Yeah, Mr.
Alex.
President.
Yeah, I was just gonna add one thing to everything Robert says, right? The one thing I was gonna add is, so we had Cops Allen look at this to make
That's
sure
what's gonna
that-
be my question.
Yeah, so to
Cops
make sure
Allen.
that we were hitting whatever number we needed to hit,
Mhm.
this was their recommendation of what we should do. and
To do
that's-
this secondary
that-
policy.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, Cobbs Island did offer us another option, and they have a policy that they can write specifically for firefighters over 10 years of service. But the issue with that is, it's still a 60% benefit policy. So if a firefighter is not earning more than $60,000 a year, he's not gonna get his $3,000.
So
We're
that
still
still
gonna be
doesn't
short.
really help us, that
Yeah.
still doesn't help us solve the problem.
So,
This is the easiest way to get to what the state requires.
and this is really kind of crazy. I'm not, we thought we were covered, and then we got to looking at it and thinking about it, and it's like, oh man, a firefighter with 15 or 20 years of service is gonna get his retirement benefits. It's that 10 years,
that gap.
15 years, low income that's not gonna get there.
All right, and that, so the cost of this would be $7,425 per year?
$7,425 per year to cover all firefighters.
All firefighters that are employed by the city of
That are
Homewood.
employed by the city, yes ma'am.
Okay, then I would make a motion to, have the mayor sign the, agreement to have the Alabama Firefighter Disability Insurance policy for $7,425 per year to cover that disability gap.
I'll second.
Go ahead, John.
I'll
Second,
second.
Mr. Harden. And this is not budgeted.
It is not budgeted. It is in the workers' comp line. I don't know we need a budget amendment at this time.
Okay, so to come out of the workers' comp.
And I can say this, we will not need a budget amendment at this time because our workers' comp was quoted on our original salary request that was submitted to council before y'all cut any of the positions. So it's gonna come back lower than, for the year than what we paid.
And this policy's with Hartford, right?
It's with Hartford through Millennial Risk Management, yes, sir.
And we used to use AMIC. Do we still use AMIC?
No.
For anything? Okay, good. That's what I was hoping the answer would be. Okay, any other questions? All right, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 4-0, that passes. 130124, request for consideration of
John
budget
Morgan.
amendments, coming to us from John Morgan in the court.
Let me, I added the.
Hey there, how are you?
If you don't mind, I had, at the last minute, I realized that there was an email concerning a budget amendment for the engineering department. There were 4 purchase orders from the FY '23 year that were encumbered, they were not rolled over to this year, and they are affecting his engineering budget. And I would like to request that, since they were already encumbered POs, that we need to carry over that amount from carryover fund balance in the amount of $32,863 to engineering services. And that will put him back at his full budget for the year.
Why are we over on that?
They were FY '23 purchase orders that were not paid in '23, they were paid in '24, or gonna be paid in '24, and they were not rolled over in the budget. They were just missed, and not rolled over in the budget. They should have been added to his budget, because they were encumbered POs.
And with the
But the
new
last year expenses.
I know, but with the new system, hopefully we know what POs are encumbered that would have to go in the new budget.
They
correct?
should
I
be
mean,
now, but the issue with this is, the money was budgeted last year. It was returned to fund balance at the end of the year.
Right.
Now we're requesting it to come out of fund balance and go
I
back
know,
into.
but what I'm asking is that with the new system that we're looking at, is there a way to see what POs are out there that
Yeah.
are not gonna be paid that need to be budgeted?
Right, the way we're doing it now is manually. We're having to physically look at all the POs, send them to the department, say, which one would you like, what do we need to carry over? So it's being done manually, and in the next version, it will not have to be done
Okay,
manually.
that was my question.
Yes.
So in code 10,
Correct.
that'll be.
Okay, and then you've got the bailiff, admin, part-time assistant.
Yeah, I apologize, I didn't have time to send these out, but I didn't have time. Now, all the positions that John's asking to get funded, they're all from court revenue. It'll be from Fund 22, from 28. I just didn't have time to slot them to, it will not come out of general fund, it'll come out of his court revenue. And then he's also asking for $22,000 of the judicial carryover fund balance to be transferred to, I'm sorry, I have a typo there, it should be Fund 28, overtime earnings for security for the court. He's having to pay the police officers security in the court till he gets bailiffs hired and some people to offer security for his court.
Okay, so these are two separate things. We've got
Yes, ma'am.
The one-
the employees,
yeah.
the positions, and then we've got the transfer to pay for the security overtime.
And these part-time bailiffs, part-time admin folks are in our budget.
They were budgeted, they were removed
They
during
were
the
removed.
budget hearings.
Okay.
Because we cut
Yeah,
positions.
I remember.
Michael, we need two separate,
No, you can do them all at one.
do them all at one time?
Yeah, it's just all under the
Okay.
budget amendment.
Okay,
You
okay.
just send me the information on
And you can have this one.
I gotta put the account numbers on here, I don't have them on there.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we get justification why we're adding these positions back? I might miss that.
Because he needs a staff to run a court, is my guess.
They don't have anybody today over there to do that kind of work?
They don't have.
John, you've had several,
Right here.
you had one resign today, did you not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here he is, right there.
But that's an empty funded position. I already had one frozen full-time position. I wanted to have finance. And the 3 bailiff positions, I'm having to pay police to work court security. I feel a lot safer with that than hire people off a list.
Yeah.
I don't know what their qualifications are or what really where they would stand if they had to take force against someone.
Yeah.
So I'd rather pay, but the police officers haven't been paid since they've been giving us security, so that's why I need that 22,000 to give them back pay, overtime pay, and then open the 3 bailiff positions so I can have those funds to pay ongoing.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay.
I apologize, John, did you say 3 bailiff positions?
There are 3 bailiff positions.
Okay, I'm sorry, I put 1 on the sheet, so that needs to be 3 bailiff positions.
Full-time, part-time?
They're part-time.
So all
But
3 of
now
these
that's
listed
court
here are
security,
actually
those are
bailiffs?
police
not-
No, the
No.
part-time bailiff needs to be 3 instead of 1.
Those
And
then
two
you've got the
part-time
admin
assistants,
assistant.
and a full-time clerk, and a full-time admin assistant.
Yes.
All of these, okay.
Yes.
And the
Is that right?
bailiff can will be
Bailiff
paid out of
part-time.
court funds, not, I won't ask for any general fund.
You're good, I just wanna make sure that this was right. So you're basically asking for 7 positions, right?
Yeah.
Cause he's saying 3 bailiffs, 2
Yeah.
part-time admin assistants, a full-time court clerk, a full-time admin assistant.
Wait, no?
No, 3
That's what
bailiffs,
I had in here.
or funding 3 bailiffs. Got one full-time position, court clerk,
These are all
and
bailiffs.
1 part-time, I'm sorry, 1 admin full-time and 1 part-time.
Okay.
So there's 6.
Okay, so you take off one of the part-time.
So,
admin
yeah, so one of the
assistants.
part-time admin assistants is, no, so that's still right. There's still 3 bailiffs, 1 part-time, this one, and then
For
those
6
two.
positions.
There's 6 positions instead of 7. Okay.
All right, everybody clear? As clear as can be.
Can I ask, so the 3rd bailiff position, is that the one that just resigned today?
No, that was a court clerk.
Court clerk,
That was a
okay.
full-time court clerk. But that will be replaced, but that's all.
Because that was already funded, I got you.
We need to figure out our retention strategy over there.
And John, I know it's been a challenge to find bailiffs. Can you still continue, I mean, even if, can the police officers overtime, could they apply for that?
From what I understand from Melody, the time that the police officers work as court security will be overtime, but it can be taken from one of
Your
our court
funds.
accounts to pay that overtime.
Okay,
So that we'll keep up with it.
Right.
And we'll pay it so that it won't come out of the police budget.
okay.
And I just feel safer about having Homewood police officers in the
Sure.
courtroom than somebody off the list that I don't know and don't really know what they can do as far as court anything.
Yeah.
Without being too. So-
Right, right. Well, I mean, I think, you know, just having somebody, they're in that building with you, so they're familiar with the process, so that probably makes sense. And I just thought if you have any trouble finding people, because as we know, it's hard to find people
Yes.
these days, that maybe, you know, that could continue to happen until, you know, we can get some
I'm hoping
bodies
so.
in there.
I'm hoping we can just keep it like that.
Okay.
Like it is.
Okay. Right, well, I would make a motion to, approve the budget amendments, for to cover the overtime, and then also for the 6 new, fund the 6 new positions for the court, to come out of the court fund.
Second.
That was the second. by
Second.
Mr. Walker.
Just note too that if I get into the hiring process and I see that the staff that I do have steps up, because I have, like I said, I lost one today, which was a good thing for us. I won't hire if it's not needed, so the budget's there, great, but if I don't need it, I won't need it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed at the same time. 4-0, that passes. Anything else we need to take up? All right, if not, we are adjourned.